Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunarose Tarot and Astrology. Tonight, we're doing a quick check in with the collective energies. I am going to talk to you a little bit about the Scorpio New Moon coming in towards the end of the week. The new moon is going to peak on the 20th, 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time for where I'm at. Of course, you can correlate that with wherever location you're at. Some of you are going to experience it late on the 19th, of course. Diana coming in on YouTube, welcome. Give me a sound check real quick, will you, ladies? Jenna, welcome. Guys, we are multi-streaming, so we're on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube all at the same time. If we see Vanessa, I imagine we're going to be a little slow on Facebook tonight. So if she wants to jump over on TikTok, that might be super helpful. I had a little bit of oh, there she is. Let me know, Vanessa. How's it looking over there? I had a little bit of a hiccup with Facebook right before I hit the go live button. So we may not be as shared out as I would like to be. Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. All right, let me open up my notes, guys. Get comfortable. This won't be very long. It shouldn't be too lengthy. But I did want to get this information out. I am at Sisters, so I'm kind of excited to see how the collective energies will look when I start pulling some cards. And I am going to offer some new moon readings at the end. So stick around, get comfortable, guys. Grab a water, a snack, all that good stuff while I open up my Scorpio New Moon notes. All right, just Facebook seems good. Okay, so it just may be super quiet over there. I'm going to open up my TikTok real quick just to make sure everything is okay over there. I do have the second camera now, guys. We're not going to have picture tonight because unfortunately I don't have my table set up or anything like that. But I do now have the other camera, so we'll be able to multi-stream on all 4 platforms. Can you guys imagine? I can't wait. Our live it up or share out or anything like that, but it should be okay. All right, let me get over to Scorpio New Moon. Are you guys ready for Scorpio New Moon? Are you? Are you? I feel like this new moon is very much a cosmic reset button. I think you're going to hear a lot of other astrologers talk about this new moon as a reset period, and it's everything deep, hidden, and intense, guys, because remember, it is the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio does rule secrets, power, transformation, and really your deepest emotions. So, not a light and fluffy moon, right? It's very much a powerful one. It's going to help us let go and start fresh from the ground up. And I know that seems interesting because, again, it is a new moon, but this is a very powerful release moon. So there's going to be a lot of letting go with this new moon. And I also feel that I know like we're working towards the end of 2025. I think a lot of us are going to realize that the thing we're releasing, and I'm going to talk about what those things could be in just a moment, but I think we're going to notice that we've been working on releasing them, all year long, right? So this is definitely a once and for all type of situation. All right, so let's talk about what is a new moon anyway, right? So the new moon is when the moon and the sun are in the same spot in the sky. So we all know we're currently in Scorpio season. And of course, the new moon right next to the sun in Scorpio, the moon is going to seem dark, of course, because it is right next to the sun instead of like a full moon where it opposes the sun. So it's a start of a new lunar cycle. It's definitely perfect time for new beginnings and setting intentions and planting seeds. And this is energy that you will experience for the next 4 to 6 weeks, right? But again, with the Scorpio intensity, is why this very powerful new moon is going to cause us to be doing a lot of releasing as well, right? So Scorpio energy is all about depth and truth. And here's what it could mean, this new could mean for you, right? So the theme with this new moon is of course transformation because that is Scorpio. So out with the old, in with the new, but again, for real this time, right? So you've kind of practiced this all year long, all of 2025, and now you're actually going to do it. It's about shedding a skin that you've outgrown. So that's the theme with the Scorpio new moon. The focus is going to be power and control. So where are you giving your power away? Are you trying to control things that you can't? This is definitely a time to take your power back. Scorpio, again, emotions, and this is not just top level, surface stuff. This is deep stuff. So Scorpio doesn't do surface level. It brings up hidden feelings, fears, passions, and secrets. So this is definitely a time to face them with this new moon. And then, of course, we all know that Scorpio also represents taboo topics. So things that we often avoid, like sex, death, debt, shared money, taxes, loans, inheritance, and of course, psychology, right? So these are all energies that this new moon is going to really put in front of our face for us to face again once and for all. All right, so what should you do during the time? Here's the action plan for Scorpio new moon. It's a potent time for inner work, of course. So here's how you can use it. Get honest with yourself and ask yourself some deep questions. I have some examples. What emotions am I avoiding? What do I need to let go of to feel free? Where am I not being fully truthful with myself or others? Three very good, very helpful shadow work questions that could help you clear some of that energy. You wanna set powerful intentions. So instead of saying things like, "I want more money," try to say things like, "I intend to release my fear of scarcity, and I welcome in financial abundance with confidence." Your intention should be about inner change, which will then, of course, create outer change, right? Does that make sense? Alright, you also want to release and forgive. I chuckle saying that because for Scorpio, that is very challenging, but Scorpio energy is a great time for letting things go. Write down what you want to release, whether it's a grudge, a bad habit, or even like a toxic situation. Safely burn that paper or just tear it up if you want to. This is going to be very symbolic and it's going to help you in a very powerful way. You want to also look at your finances with the Scorpio new moon. Again, something most of us run from, hide from, and don't want to do. But Scorpio does rule shared resources. So it's going to be a good time to check in on your debts, your savings, your investments, or budgets. You want to make a plan to transform your financial health with this Scorpio new moon. All right. Here's what to be careful of with this energy. Jealousy and power struggles, that's very Scorpio theme, right? Shadow side of Scorpio. And it can bring up very possessiveness, suspicion, desire to manipulate energy. So be aware of those feelings and of course don't act on them impulsively. Intensity in relationships, so conversations can quickly become very deep or heated. Be honest, but also be kind with the Scorpio new moon. Digging up the past is something that I also wanna be cautious of because while it's a good time to heal, we don't wanna get stuck in old wounds. We wanna be able to release them and heal from them, forgive, and move forward. The goal is to understand it, learn from it, and again, let it go. Alright, here's a simple ritual for everyone that everyone can do. You don't need anything fancy. And this is gonna be around the time of the new moon. So we're live streaming. It's November 17th. Again, new moon coming in late on the 19th, early morning on the 20th. I think it's like 1:45-ish for me where I'm at currently. So you wanna find on this new moon, it's gonna last you can do it, like, let's say if you're doing this ritual on the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, even up to the 23rd, this would still be helpful. Okay. Alright, so you wanna find a quiet space and light a candle. It's gonna help you, set the mood. The flame of the candle is gonna represent transformation. You wanna take a few slow, deep breaths to calm your mind. You wanna write in a journal and answer those questions that I listed earlier with action plan, right? You wanna state your intentions, write down 1 to 3 very powerful intentions for this new cycle, and guys, start speaking them out loud. I think that's really way more important than we realize. And the last thing you wanna do is you wanna say thank you. This is gonna help you close out your ritual, of course, put your candle out, but setting or having that gratitude will definitely set everything into motion. Alright, here's bottom line. Scorpio New Moon, again, November 20th, 1:47 p.m., that's Eastern Time. Powerful invitation to rebirth. That's Scorpio energy. It's to face your shadows, release what holds you back, and set powerful intentions for a more authentic and empowered you. Alright, I am gonna break down all 12 signs, but guys, I did this very short and sweet. So really not getting into a lot of detail here, but really just to the point. Alright, so all 12 rising signs. Let's start with Aries rising. So Aries rising, the house affected is the 8th house. And again, the focus is a reset, but with shared finances, intimacy, and emotional bonds. This is perfect for starting a debt payoff plan or deepening trust in a relationship. All right, Taurus rising. Scorpio New Moon is gonna impact your 7th house. So this is a reset in your closest partnerships and contracts. You wanna set intentions for more profound, authentic relationships, and that's both business and personal. Alright, Gemini rising is next, and the house affected here is gonna be 6th house. So this is a reset of your daily work, health, and routines. You want to start a new wellness habit, organize your tasks, or transform your approach to service. Next is Cancer rising. So if you're a Cancer rising like me, our house affected is the 5th house. So this is a reset in creativity, romance, and pleasure. So you want to plant seeds for a new hobby, a new way of dating, or connecting with joy and self-expression. Leo rising is next. Scorpio New Moon is going to impact your 4th house. So this is a reset at home and with family. Intentions for your living space, family dynamics, or your innermost emotional foundation. Virgo rising, Scorpio New Moon is going to impact your 3rd house. This is a reset in communication, mindset, and local community. You want to start a deep learning project, have a crucial conversation, or change your daily mental patterns. Libra rising. So if you're a Libra rising, Scorpio New Moon is going to impact your 2nd house. And the focus here is a reset on your income, values, and self-worth. So set powerful intentions to increase earnings, release material clutter, or value your talents more, Libra rising. Here it is, Scorpio rising. So the house impacted for you, of course, is the 1st house. And it's definitely a total personal rebirth. This is your annual new moon for reinventing yourself. So set intentions about who you're becoming. Scorpio rising. Sagittarius rising. The house impacted is 12th house. This is a reset of your subconscious secrets and spiritual life. So let go of hidden fears, old karma, and rest. Listen to your dreams. Write your dreams down. Capricorn rising, the house impacted Scorpio New Moon is going to be your 11th house. So, this is a reset of your friendships, groups, long term dreams. You want to reevaluate your social circle or set powerful intentions for a heartfelt goal. Next is Aquarius rising. So, the house impacted Scorpio New Moon is going to be your 10th house. This is a reset for your career, reputation, and public life. Plant seeds for professional transformation or change how the world sees you. Last one, Pisces rising. The house impacted is ninth house. So this is a reset of your beliefs, higher learning, travel, and you want to let go of limiting philosophy and set intentions for adventure or expanding your mind. All right, that's going to be all 12 rising signs for Scorpio New Moon. Sandra, welcome. All right, guys, I'm going to do a quick collective, and then I'll offer some new moon mini readings. I'm not sister, so there's so much space, the side desk part, there's the other desk part. I don't have video tonight because we don't have it quite set up just yet, but we will. We will. I'm still going to be here a few more days, so it's very likely that we will definitely have some more lives while I'm here at Sisters. And then of course it's my off season. So we've been talking about making a schedule so I can come up and visit regularly. I feel like it's definitely a reset for me, for sure. I feel like every time I come to Sisters, um, I don't know, a little vulnerable Rosa moment. Um, I feel like every time I come to Sisters, I cry, and it happened again, yesterday or the day before whenever I got here. And I sat down with that for a moment, and I was like, "Why does that happen?" Like, every time I walk into my room at sister's house, it's like I feel like I'm, made it back from some war, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I sit down and it just all comes out. Um, and I realized a couple of things. I realized, like, one, it's just a relief, right? Um, and two, I think that I used to really think of myself as, like, weak. Um, like, whenever I would come visit sisters, and if I would cry, like, this thing would happen, I would just be like, "Oh my gosh, Rosa, you're so weak. You can't, handle it out there. So every time you come in here, you cry, right?" And that's totally, like, the complete opposite is, like, I finally realized, like, I'm badass. I'm out there doing, like, some badass shit, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, when I get here, it definitely is this period where I get to, like, rest, recoup, rejuvenate, and I get to get a lot of it just out of my system. Does that make sense? So yeah, I don't know. It was just definitely a little bit of like a aha moment for me. It definitely let me like let go of a lot of like the limiting beliefs. If you're on this type of journey, you probably question your strength regularly, but I mean, you can't be on the twin flame journey and be weak. Like it's not possible, right? So, yeah, I don't know, it's some good, clarity moments for sure. Alright, let's do a quick collective, and let's just see where everybody's at. I'm actually gonna use the Moonology Oracle tonight. I don't wanna stay on too long tonight either, though, because, um, Scott is doing, um can somebody jump over on TikTok for me, guys? We're live over there, and there's people in the chat. Caleb, Free Spirit, Awesome Terry. Welcome, guys. But I don't want to stay on too long tonight because, I'm at my sister's. I love it, Free Spirit. Thank you. Um, and my brother-in-law is this amazing cook. I literally come here and I'm just like drooling because I know that I'm going to eat, very well. Um, and it's steak and potatoes night, guys. Steak and potatoes. I love it, Vanessa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I was panicking. Are you doing both? Are you on Facebook at the same time? How are you doing that? Leslie is over on Facebook too. All right, guys, get here just in time. Here we go. All right, so I know that normally we're tapping into the current energy. I will say that I feel like I experience my energies a little bit sooner than others. If you're having a spiritual awakening, you most likely experience the energies a little bit sooner as well. I think Spirit does that for us so that we can get through it, and then that's how we're helping other people get through it when the energy impacts them, right? Um, But yeah, it doesn't have to be like right. Let's say we're talking Scorpio New Moon. You may feel it a little bit before the 20th, like I'm feeling mine now, right? And then you may feel it on the 20th. Some people may not feel the energies until after. But again, if you're having spiritual awakening and you're actively working your soul's journey, then most likely you're feeling those energies a little bit early, right? And again, it's so that we can be enlightened and we can help other people, like light the path for them, right? When the energy hits them. So I want to tap into Scorpio New Moon energy with this collective. Like that's my intention. I know it's still a few days out. Um, Meditate and contemplate. New Moon in Pisces comes out for the masculine right away. Luck is on your side, comes out for the feminine. New Moon in Sagittarius. I do have communication is key. New Moon in Gemini is the bridging energy. I definitely want to say that communication is happening everywhere. That's very collective. I know I've kind of been out this month, taking care of like some personal things. And we will start our schedule right back next week, guys. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Love and Astrology, all 12 signs on Thursday night. Just like we left it. That's what Spirit told me. We're gonna go right back to it, just the way it was. Um, I do definitely appreciate having this month to make these doctor's appointments and then be able to come and visit my sister. It was definitely all much needed. So super grateful for that. Um, But many of you that have been experiencing no contact or have been in no contact have reached out to me in your private readings, one on ones, which we're still having, guys. So reach out to me if you need one. Um, have mentioned contact, especially after long separation periods. Um, and it's a collective, it's happening everywhere. And it's, to a lot of people. And if you haven't experienced it already, I'm not trying to I feel like a lot of times when we talk about contact after long-term separations, we get, like, some type of, hope, excitedness, like, we all the expectations come back, and I'm not trying to, like, fire up your expectations, that's not the goal here. I just don't want you to seem shocked or if you have not had communication yet, I don't want you to feel like left out. Again, remember we talked about how the energies are a little bit before, during, and after. But yes, communication is something that's very collective. It is key. It is really important as we go through this Scorpio transformation and transition, right? Um, and a lot of people are experiencing that. Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. I feel Sagittarius normally rules the ninth house. Um, I feel like some people say the ninth house is the house of spirit. Um, but for me, ninth house is how I get to spirit, right? It's like that's the higher learning, the travel, the expansion. And then I feel like 12th house is the house of spirit, Pisces, right? So I feel like for Divine Feminine, you've been expanding knowledge. You've been trying to study more, learn more, You've been releasing limited beliefs, and being, like, more open to, new information, new knowledge, new downloads, right? Meditation and contemplation coming out for the masculine, I feel like if you notice when I was going through all the rising signs, they all talk about how there's a lot of rebirth and transformation. A lot of the rising signs are letting go of old ways of doing something, old beliefs, um, old habits, personality traits, things that weren't serving them, old shedding old skin, right? So we heard that a lot in the rising signs. When I'm looking at my counterpart energy, I'm looking at Scorpio rising energy, and that energy is the strongest. It's the one where this new moon is impacting first house, and it's a complete rebirth. It's a time of year where Scorpio gets to decide, this is who I want to be from now on. This is what I learned this year. This is what I'm taking with me, and this is what I'm leaving behind. And this is who I'm going to be from now on, right? Because Scorpio is always going through death, transformation, and rebirth. So meditate and contemplate coming out tells me that Scorpio could be struggling this time around with who they want to be. There definitely could be some pullback. I think that when we're having spiritual awakening and we're of service and we're out there doing the things and we're shining our light and, all that kind of stuff, I think a lot of times the darkness tries to bring us back, like pull us back, by showing us comfort zones, showing us past things, past people, past situations, past places that we think, this new me is hard, and going back to something that I've done for however long may seem easier, right? It's the comfort zone. So it's like there could be a lot of the darkness testing the masculine energy to be pulled back into something they already know doesn't work. So meditate and contemplate. Definitely could be some positive advice. The end of a tough cycle approaches, comes out full moon in Capricorn. I'm being told to mention that this is a 9-year. So a lot of us are experiencing a lot of closure. That's why we're experiencing these new moons that are more of releasing energy instead of new energy coming in. It doesn't mean that new energy is not coming. Of course it is. That's what new moons do. But that's also because it's a 9-year, 25, right? We're also having to release um, a lot of things that can't go with us in the new cycle that starts 2026. I think that's where the divine masculine could be struggling. I think the divine feminine somehow has some type of extra, like, layer of protection or layer of I don't think it's necessarily luck, 'cause I feel like the divine feminine has done a lot of work in gaining the wisdom needed to be able to make the changes. I'm not sure why communication is key, to be perfectly honest. So we're going to clarify a little bit. I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot. As I am offering a very short 3-card Scorpio New Moon mini readings after the collective. So if you want to hang out, guys, if the reading is pulling out your heartstrings, make sure to tap that like button for me. All right, King of Wands comes out for the divine masculine, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's definitely about confidence, inner strength, but it's also about action, taking new, passionate action. You have to have courage to take new, passionate action. I don't make this stuff up. Like you can Google King of Wands, and I promise you, it's going to say kings are action, wands are passion. Um, so, it's new, passionate action. Okay. So I think that really just confirms what I was saying earlier, where the masculine could be feeling pulled back towards something that they already know doesn't work. And it could be because there's a lack of confidence in the new them, in the new energy, and the new person that they're becoming. All right, let's look at divine feminine energy. Was luck is on your side. It was new moon in Sagittarius. We have Eight of Cups coming out. So water signs coming out for the feminine, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Eight of Cups is walking away from something we all know, but it's also walking towards something, right? A long time ago, there's another tarot reader on YouTube, and she came into my live and she said, "The goal is 10 cups." So you're finished with the 8 cups. That's why you're walking away, but you're going towards the 2 of cups, right? Because there's 2 more cups. You're going towards equal effort. You're going towards partnership, soulmate energy. But there's something still left for you to do. So I know the card is luck is on your side for the feminine, and I think it's very possible that you could feel like things have opened up for you and made it easier for you to be able to walk away from a certain situation. But I want the divine feminine to know that's not luck. That's a lot of hard work. That's a lot of inner growing strength, wisdom. And then that's a lot of integration, right? Because you actually had to start implementing it into your everyday life in order for it to become the wisdom, right? So it's not just luck. I think you could feel like, oh, I'm so lucky this new opportunity comes in and now I'm able to let this other thing go. And it's not just luck. That's a lot of integration, a lot of implementation, a lot of grounding. It's a lot of grounding. It just shows that the divine feminine is taking what they're learning in spiritual awakening and they're applying it to their everyday life. All right, communication is key. We have the Eight of Pentacles coming out, focus, dedication. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot. So for those of you that have this particular tarot set, she's sitting at her desk. She has all of her her journals, her candles, her sage, her all the ingredients that she needs to work her craft, right? So it is this energy of focus, dedication, and commitment, but putting thoughts together, putting pieces together, putting resources together. When it comes to communication is key because remember that's the bridge energy. So if you're listening to this reading right now and you're like, why does some of this sound like that's like me? That's what's happening. Um, it's probably because you're experiencing the same type of spiritual awakening that I'm having, right? One side or the other, whether it's the masculine or the feminine, could feel very strongly towards you. It doesn't have to, it has nothing to do with male or female. So that's really important that we all understand from the get go. But the bridging energy, when I created the spread, Spirit told me the bridging energy is our current spiritual lesson. The reason these readings are helpful, not just to me in my spiritual journey, but also to others as well, is because it's collective energy. Again, we're experiencing the same type of spiritual awakening journey, right? So if you're wondering, like, why does some of this feel like that's what's happening? How does she know? The bridging energy is going to give you that confirmation. It's going to tell you for sure. So communication is key, and it shows the twins. It's new moon in Gemini. We're experiencing new moon in Scorpio. The twins, it's not getting past me, right? Eight of Pentacles is our focus, our dedication, our job, our work, our service, right? So Spirit is saying communication is key in order for us to follow our purpose, in order for us to uh, there's something else about, like, it's bigger than just us. It's bigger than just 2 people on the planet, right? I think that's something that is also really collective. Like, we're all starting to get a lot more of this "we're all one" type of understanding, and we're starting to understand that when we don't work on ourselves, or when we go back to comfort zones because we don't have the courage to take new passionate action, then it's like we're not being of service. We're not able to fulfill our purpose in the journey, right? So I do feel a Scorpio new moon is going to cause a lot of communication. I feel like many of us will experience communication after long periods of no contact. I don't ever see the fairy tale romance story in this particular type of awakening. So I feel that whatever the communication is about will be about focus, dedication, commitment, service, of purpose. Like, that's what the communication most likely will entail. All right, let's pull some guidance to close it out. And then again, offering 3 cards, Scorpio New Moon readings tonight. All you got to do is let me know in the chat. All right, first card to fly out is regret. I know that I cannot change my past. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Last one. Empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of the situation. Humor is on the bottom. Every time I see that card, it's like make the situation lighter. It doesn't have to be so heavy. All right, guys, the Scorpio New Moon Collective. I hope that was helpful. Let me know, guys. Let me know if anyone is interested. 3 cards, Scorpio New Moon energy. I'm going to clean up really quickly. Your favorite cards, which one? The Light Seer Tarot or the Moonology Oracle? I think it's the Moonology Oracle. I've been using them since the very beginning. When we do all 12 signs, so I'm going to use like for 3 cards. Light Seers. Spirit's telling me to take a deep breath. Wayne Williams. It seems that I can't see TikTok. I see Leslie. It seems that I can't see TikTok over on the restream. Like the service that stream shows me Facebook, YouTube, but it's not showing me TikTok. It's such a pain. Like, why Why not? Just do it. All right, I'm gonna go with Vanessa first. Free Spirit over on TikTok. Sherry, you made it. I'm so glad. I was so worried. I was trying not to rush. Um, New Moon info at the very beginning, so make sure you go back and check it out after we're done. I hope you had a good night at work. Communication is key. Sherry comes out. Not Sherry, Vanessa comes out. Sherry, 3 cards. Scorpio New Moon. So, you're very close to achieving your goal. A personal issue reaches resolution. Scorpio New Moon, Vanessa, masculine energy wants to talk. You are, there's tunnel vision with you're very close to achieving your goal. It's like you have your heart set on something, your mind set on something, you're focused on something. It could have something to do with emotions. It's almost like you're not too worried about the communication. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer is your bridging energy. Yeah, it's giving this energy like your counterpart energy could be reaching out, but you're focused on something completely different. It could be that the communication happens when you are, again, focused on something else, trying to achieve some goal that you have. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. All right, Leslie on Facebook. Welcome, Vanessa. All right, Leslie on Facebook. A new start is coming. A new moon comes out for your masculine. Don't let your past hold you back, but south node for your feminine. And again, you're very close to achieving your goal is the bridging energy. Um, okay, Leslie on Facebook. This is giving, I don't know if you were here when I started the collective reading, but in the collective reading, there was this energy of wanting to go back to the comfort zone because we don't know like what the new path or like the new us looks like, so we don't feel super confident in that energy. And it's like we want to go back to something that we know it and we know how to do it, whether we like it or not. And we think it's more comfortable again because we know it, right? This is giving that energy like you're almost to something, and this is going to be masculine, your masculine and feminine energies. So it's like you're almost to achieving something. You're so close that you could feel a lot of energy trying to pull you back. That could come up in a lot of different ways. Like right now, we're having Mercury retrograde, and it is moving back into Scorpio. So there could be definitely like a lot of old relationships um, returning, giving you that feeling like, oh, let's try this again. I think that this happens when you're like really close to leveling up in some way. And it's definitely giving me this energy like you've gone too far to turn around now. Or it's also like you've gone too far to let someone take you back to something that you already know isn't going to work. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. All right, Sherry on YouTube. Love it. I'm glad you made it. Stomach's all growling all crazy. Miss Linda Rainey. All right. Sherry on YouTube. 3 cards. First one comes out. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon and Cancer comes out for your feminine energy. Meditate and contemplate. New moon and Pisces comes out. That came out for the masculine energy and the collective Sherry. So again, I would just recommend when we're done, I'm just gonna wrap it up, but to go back and check out that Scorpio New Moon information at the beginning. I did go over the rising sign. I'm being told to mention that. Um, but meditate and contemplate came out for the masculine. It was this energy of you're at the brink of going through some type of change. And again, this energy of like trying to decide who you want to be from here on out, but it's easier to go back to like who you used to be. So it's again this energy of having to like have some type of courage to push through something so that you can start fresh, clean slate, and decide like a new Sherry, a new version of Sherry, a new, stronger, wiser, smarter Sherry, right? And it's like you're at some type of like threshold, and definitely this energy of feeling like something's trying to pull you back to the old ways because that's easier. Meditating and contemplating could be helpful for you. The masculine energy in the collective could be helpful for you. But the message here is definitely going to be that feminine, you and your loved ones are safe. Because I think a lot of times when we're at these big leveling up periods or transition periods or transformation periods or whatever we want to call it, it's like, not, it's like the light is shining so bright that the darkness is trying to pull you back. And many times that happens by impacting, like if it can't touch you, it touches those around. Does that make sense, Sherry? So there's definitely this energy like um, something could be trying to get you to go back to the old way of doing something because there's someone close to you that could be impacted in some way, and that causes you the self-doubt and the fear and like, am I strong enough to keep going and be this new version, right? So new moon and Cancer, only because I know you're a Cancer rising like me. But when I see that you and your loved ones are safe, I immediately get that feeling like um, highly protected, highly protected. Right? I'm gonna let that go right there. I hope that was helpful. Confidence is your key to success. New Moon and Leo was on the bottom. All right. That's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me on all the platforms. I appreciate you guys so very much. Vanessa, thank you for helping me over on TikTok. I'm so glad that we have the other camera. I can't wait to get TikTok rolling on a regular basis, right? But yes, guys, thanks everyone for coming in. Again, we will most likely have at least another live before I leave Sisters and head back to Kentucky. But I wanted to get the Scorpio New Moon information out to you guys. So again, if you missed it at the beginning, go back and check it out. I do break down all the rising signs. I hope it's helpful, guys, and I'll see everyone really soon. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on the journey. Have a good night, everyone. I'm so glad you made it too, Sherry. Good night, guys.